welcome to another Centurion's Corner, and today we're going to be looking at another fixer-upper episode of the 332nd Company of Ahsoka's Clone Trooper. I always just look at this guy and just feel like he's slightly missing a little bit of detail. Maybe it's just the weathering or something on there. He just still looks a little bit animated for me and doesn't look realistic enough. Also, his guns need a bit of a kind of bit of weathering as well. So we'll look up on that. We're going to remove his head and we're going to paint his face. So we're going to have that removable helmet again, because I just feel like it's misglued slightly just inside there. I've got this kind of extra lump part just sticking out. We're going to have a look at glossing this visor as well, and just completely just having a look at the figure, filling in the grey on the side. I might even continue the black around on the back as well, so it just looks like it's painted over at the front, but around the back it isn't. Filling this part in as well, just giving it a bit more of a realistic look and a little bit of extra liquor of paint to hopefully bring this figure up to scratch. So, what are we waiting for? Let's go, go, go! Don't forget, if you do like this content and you want to help the channel, then please just drop a like. You can subscribe and you can comment and ding that bell. Thank you so much. gun, and I actually could safely say I prefer him now. Like, there's just something really missing. The body still does not compete with even the bootlegs. There's just still something slightly off. I know I keep rabbiting on about it, but this guy feels a little bit more complete as a figure and how he should, and just that realistic of it. I know there's people saying, well, it's Clone Wars, it shouldn't be realistic, but then we've got Captain Rex, we've got Commander Fox, and some of the others as well, where they do look realistic, because that's the whole point of Black Series. You know, the Rebel characters, they're gone sort of realistic as well and stuff like that. So this guy beforehand for me was a little bit too blue. It was too pristine white. You know, the orange head, it kind of looked more like a Fisher-Price toy rather than a Black Series kind of Star Wars Hasbro premium figure. So what have we done? Okay, so basically we have weathered up his gun. We put a little bit of silver on there and silvered up the bottom part down here. And we've done the same for his other little gun, just to bring a little bit of detail into it. Next, we've done a black wash over the body as well. And, you know, that's just 5% black acrylic paint and then 95% water. Just keep washing it down. You see me in the video with the sponge and stuff, and I'm just dabbing it and putting it down. Just highlight these areas. Just bring the body inwards and stuff, you know, like where you think it would get scuffed, it would get on these sort of higher legs and stuff down there. Actually doing this, and I never realised, is actually these shin parts are not really prominent. They're just very flat, and I think that's one thing that puts me off this figure. They're just, it's not really rigid as the one before. I have gone over this. I didn't put it in the video, but I've only recently done it because I just felt it needed to be done. So originally the white dot used to finish here, so I just literally whitened the whole thing over the top with a bit of black wash to bring the white paint down, and added the extra white dot on the top just to make it a little bit more elonged. And then just weathering, chipping on here with extra white. Around on the back we've done some extra kind of weathering and parts on there, but I think the main part really, it comes to the helmet. So we have weathered the helmet, we have put that semi-gloss in the actual visor, so it gives it off that kind of nice kind of a feel on there, and the black sort of trim around on the back, and also we filled in the extra part here and here. And just doing the comparisons shots as well, it's just, you notice it straight away. It just looks 10 times more effective. So the main part really for this figure is obviously it has a glued in head, and oh my god, did I fight taking this helmet off. In the end I was just going to give up, and I didn't care if it was going to damage the helmet or not, because I was going to get that head. And so I kind of really sort of dug deep, and just using a butter knife. You can kind of see me in the video, but I was getting so frustrated that I come away from the video a little bit. But just turn that helmet inside out, pushing that butter knife down, not using a sharp knife, just to get around that extra glue and around the head. Just slowly keep doing it, and I eventually got there, and then the head popped out. And obviously you could see the helmet was so crimpled that just putting it into the saucepan for 5 seconds, it just brought it straight back. My helmet was slightly kind of a bit deformed anyway, but you know, it's not too bad. You can see it sort of like he wonked to one side. So we can always take a look at his actual head. So we can just pop that out somehow, and there we go. I actually done a matte finish over his head, and as you can see, I've already got some paint chipping going on some bits of his cheeks. I feel like this is 10 times better than what I've actually done last time. So this is my second face paint, and I'm a lot more chuffed with it. I'm quite chuffed how this one's turned out. And it's, you know, it's all these sort of different sort of paints and techniques that you can use. I've had certain people sort of tell me how they do it, which is absolutely fine. And I'm just doing a learning curve. I don't have time. I don't have a lot of time to do these figures. I'm on a bit of a time sort of thing and like that. I want to get the videos out to you guys and produce and stuff like that. So I do use these type of paints, and these are not really designed for characters and whatnot. They're kind of thick artist kind of acrylics. So I use this buff titanium, and it sounds awful, doesn't it? But inside it actually looks like ladies makeup. It just, it's like a very sort of almost a good sort of skin colour. So then with that, I just add in a tiny little bit of burnt orange and then a tiny little bit of brown, and I get this colour. And all I do is add a tiny little bit of water on the brush, because this is thick, and it just loosens it up, and I can actually apply it to that without losing the detail and stuff like that. And it's just a quick way of me doing it. Whether this is a way for you, whether you think this is absolutely crud and you think you can do better, then all the means, go for it. The other paints that I have used on this guy, so we have used Tamura X18 semi-gloss, and that was for the visor. We had used a flat aluminium XF16 for all the details on the gun. We used a flat black, and that's just basically for his trim, and using a bit of this and water for the weathering. And then also dark sea grey XF54, and that's literally for the imperial kind of grey around on the helmet. And then all the rest is kind of it. Now I was going to add an actual backpack for this guy. This was from JW Customs 91 on Instagram, and I think I'm going to use it at a later date. I kind of want to build a few more sort of jet troopers, and maybe even the Battlefront 2, the original green jet trooper as well. So I'm actually going to keep these to one side. I don't want to divert too far away from the Hasbro figure that I officially bought and then weather him all up. These are for my customs, I think. So yeah, we're just going to leave it as that. If not, go back to, I think it's Donnell video, and I would have just basically done the same by dribbling a hole with a bit of a magnet in there, and also doing the same to connect it. So if you watch that video, that was basically what I was going to do for this character. So that kind of brings me to the end. I mean, I hope this really sort of inspires you to start sort of having a look at your figures if you aren't happy with them, and start getting into customizing as well. If you've got any questions, then comment down below. You can follow me on Instagram, or you can DM me and ask me any other questions and other techniques that I've used. I don't mind. And you can subscribe and ding the bell if you like future content from me. So until next time, take care, and I'll see you then.